Good morning, Carson City. This is Cisco. Can you hear us? All right, they can't hear us.
I guess until these guys to check in, I won't turn it off.
General Ford, Secretary Aguilar, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, we can. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Are you ready to proceed?
Let's
Yes.
go.
You are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started then. We'll call to order the State of Nevada Board of Examiners meeting scheduled for today, June 10th, 2025, the time being 10 a.m. And we will kick it off with the roll call.
Governor Lombardo,
Present.
Attorney General Ford,
Here.
Secretary Aguilar.
Here.
Let the record reflect we have a quorum.
All right, we'll move on to the first opportunity for public comment. The first public comment period is limited to comments on items on the agenda. No action may be taken upon a matter raised upon this public comment period unless the matter itself has been specifically included on the agenda as an action item. We will limit public comment to 3 minutes. If you wish to call in, the number being 775-321-6111. And with that being said, do we have any public comment there in Las Vegas?
No, sir.
Do we have any public comment here in Carson City? There's a lot of people. Anybody on the phone? All right, we'll close agenda item number 2, move to agenda item number 3, approval of the meeting minutes for possible action of 3 separate meetings. First being May 13th, 2025, May 23rd, 2025, and May 29th, 2025. Do we have any questions or concerns from any board members?
No, Governor, motion to approve
All
all
right,
3 minutes.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 4, state vehicle purchases for possible action. Ms. Grenemeyer.
Pursuant to NRS 334.010, no automobile may be purchased by any department, office, bureau, officer, or employee of the state without prior written consent of the State Board of Examiners. This request is from the Department of Public Safety Investigation Division. The department requests approval to purchase 1 replacement vehicle for a total amount not to exceed $29,229. Are there any questions on this one?
Do we have any questions? I'll entertain a motion
No.
for,
So moved. Cisco.
all right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 5, authorization to contract with current and/or former state employee for possible action. We'll start with 5A, please.
There are two requests under this agenda item pursuant to NRS 333.705 subsection 1. The first request is from the Nevada State Board of Pharmacy. The board requests to contract with the former employee Ryan Miller to train staff in investigations of unlawful activities related to prescription drugs and controlled substances through a statewide contract with Marathon Staffing Group. Are there any questions on this one? You want to take a vote?
You can take them together.
Okay. The next item is from the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Aging and Disability Services. The department seeks a favorable recommendation to contract with former employee Marcia Rubin to provide speech pathology services through a statewide contract with Reliable Healthcare Services of Southern Nevada. So are there any questions on these?
Do we have any questions on either 5A or B?
No questions. Motion to approve. Cisco.
Can you identify both the full motion, Cisco?
Yeah, motion to approve 5A for the Nevada State Board of Pharmacy and 5B for the Department of Health and Human Services.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 6, request to designate positions in state government as critical labor shortages for possible action. Ms. Greenmeyer.
This request is from the Department of Public Safety Director's Office pursuant to NRS 286.523. The department requests approval of a critical labor shortage designation for DPS Officer 1 and DPS Officer 2 positions for a period of 2 years. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions?
None here. Move approval.
All right, we have a
No
motion.
question.
We have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. All right, we'll move to, bear with me. So General Ford and Secretary Aguilar, do you want to take these separately or are you comfortable together?
I'm comfortable all together. Cisco.
Same here. I'm fine with.
All right, we'll move to agenda item number 7, request for a recommendation of approval to the Interim Finance Committee for an allocation amount from the contingency account for possible action. And we'll take items 7A through E together.
Okay. There are 5 requests under this agenda item pursuant to NRS 353.268. The first request is from the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Public and Behavioral Health. The department requests a recommendation to the Interim Finance Committee for an allocation of $753,500 from the Interim Finance Committee contingency account to fund the payment of sanctions imposed by the Second Judicial Court in Washoe County. The second request is from the Department of Public Safety, Nevada Highway Patrol. The department requests a recommendation to the Interim Finance Committee for an allocation of $227,171 from the Interim Finance Committee contingency account to cover the costs associated with providing dignitary protection to visiting dignitaries. The next request is from the Department of Veterans Services. The department requests a recommendation to the Interim Finance Committee for an allocation of $49,971 from the Interim Finance Committee contingency account to cover shortfalls in the personnel services, Fernley Cemetery, and information services categories. The next request is from the Office of Attorney General. The office requests a recommendation to the Interim Finance Committee for an allocation of $56,488 from the Interim Finance Committee contingency account to cover the costs associated with providing dignitary protection to the Attorney General. The last request is from the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Division of State Lands. The department requests a recommendation to the Interim Finance Committee for an allocation of $151,954 from the Interim Finance Committee contingency account to replenish the balance of the revolving account for land management. Are there any questions on these items?
All right, do we have any questions?
No questions. Cisco. Motion for approval.
All right, we have a motion for approval. Cisco, can you identify?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Motion to approve item number 7, A, B, C, D, and E.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 8, request for reimbursement from the statutory contingency account for possible action. And we'll take both together.
Okay. There are 2 requests under this agenda item. The first request is from the Secretary of State's office pursuant to NRS 293.2504. The office requests the board's approval for an allocation of $55,658 from the statutory contingency account to reimburse the cost of providing training to each county clerk and city clerk related to elections procedures. The second request is also from the Secretary of State office pursuant to NRS 293.253. The office requests the board's approval for an allocation of $465,144 from the statutory contingency account to reimburse counties for publications costs from the 2024 general election. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions?
Mr. Governor, I think we should require an erudite recitation from the Secretary of State justifying each and every dollar they requested under these circumstances. No, I'm just joking. No questions here. Move approval.
Just being
I
funny.
missed about 90% of what you said.
You didn't miss anything, Governor. You didn't miss anything.
So was there a motion in there?
Yes, sir. Move approval.
All right, for items 8A and B?
Yes, sir. 8A and B.
Okay. All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. We'll move on to agenda item number 9, request for approval of proposed state administration manual changes for possible action.
Pursuant to NRS 353.040, the office requests modifications to the policies and procedures of the State Board of Examiners adopted and collected in Chapter 3000, Federal Grant Procedures of the State Administrative Manual. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions?
Mr. Governor, I do have a question. Depending upon whether the Office of Federal Assistance is here. Is anyone from the Office of Federal Assistance in the room?
Anybody here? Doesn't look like it, General.
Yeah, no, sir.
Okay, let me just state for the record then, and maybe we can get this question to them. I know this is on the SAM manual, but I would be interested in understanding if the Office of Federal Assistance has been tracking grant terminations by the federal government. As you all know, I've had a few interactions as of late, and I'd be interested in understanding what information they can provide us, because as I understand it, they track grant terminations. So I'm putting that on the record now, and we'll follow up with whomever the right person is, or have them connect with me so that we can get some answers to those questions, and I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Governor.
Absolutely. So did you hear what he said?
Yeah, on federal.
Somebody from the office to contact him directly to provide an update of what is the current situation. All right. I'll
I will move
entertain.
approval, Governor.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, move on to agenda item number 10, request for the allocation and disbursement of funds for salary adjustments. And bear with me. I'll ask the board, the other board members, whether they want it together or separate.
Together, please.
That would probably be the easier way to do it. So my agenda says through W, A through W, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Kick it off.
There are 23 requests under this agenda item. The 2023 legislature, through Assembly Bill 522, made appropriations from the general fund and the highway fund to the Board of Examiners to meet salary deficiencies that may be created between the appropriated money of the state's respective departments, commissions, and agencies, and the salary requirements for the personnel of those departments, commissions, and agencies. The Board of Examiners, upon recommendation of the Director of the Governor's Finance Office, may allocate and disperse amounts from the appropriate fund to the departments, commissions, and agencies of the state for the purpose of paying personnel salary deficiencies. Items A through R request funds for salary increases for a total of $29,346,883. I would note the total amount for item K has been revised from $146,471 to $143,801. Next is the items S through U, request funds for sworn positions for a total of $4,126,515. Items V through W, request funds for the plan to encourage continuity of service for a total of $120,562. Are there any questions on these?
Any questions?
No questions?
Do we
Move
have the-
approval.
Do we have the DAG
sorry.
here?
We have some DAGs here.
You
Yes,
have
sir.
one there in your office there?
Yes, sir.
Was that sufficient, that reading, or do we need to read the total, each one individually?
That's a sufficient reading. The only thing I'd request is on the motion, and I was just about to note that, if you would note you're approving it with the change in amount on item K.
Cisco, you want to take a stab at that?
Sure. Motion to approve item number 10, request for allocation and disbursement of funds for salary adjustments A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K with the amended amount, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. I know we need to see.
Public education, baby. All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you for that, Cisco.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome to leave if that was your item. Everybody's waiting on their contracts. Okay. We'll move to agenda item number 11, correct?
That is correct.
Approve of proposed leases for possible action.
There are 7 leases under this agenda item for approval by the board. Are there any questions on these items?
Do we have any questions on the 7 leases?
None here. Move approval.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move to item 12, approval of proposed contracts for possible action. Ms. Grandemeyer.
There are 90 contracts under this agenda item. Are there any questions on these items?
No questions. Motion for approval, items 1 through 9.
90.
Oh, no, 19.
90.
90. I meant to say.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Yeah, 90 is correct. Motion passes. All right, move to agenda item number 13, approval of proposed master service agreements for possible action.
There are 23 master service agreements under this agenda item for approval by the board. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions?
None here. Move approval.
Can you finish that motion, General
My
Ford?
apologies. Yes, sir. Move approval for item number 13, numbers 1 through 23.
There you go. So we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 14, information on item, Clerk of the Board of Contracts.
There are 62 contracts within the threshold of $10,000 to $99,999 that were approved by the clerk of the board from April 16th, 2025 through May 16th, 2025. This item is informational. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions? Hearing none.
No questions.
No, sir.
Hearing none, we'll close item 14, move to 15 on received information item reports. And let's take those separately, please.
There are 3 reports under this agenda item. The first report is from the Governor's Finance Office Budget Division pursuant to NRS Chapter 353. The division presents a reconciled fund balance report of the following accounts. The approximate balances are as follow: $2.2 million for tort claim fund. Statutory contingency account is $20,000. Stale claims account is $550,000. Emergency account is $450,000. Disaster relief account is $14.3 million. IFC contingency unrestricted general fund, $11.9 million. IFC contingency unrestricted highway fund is $1.6 million. IFC contingency restricted general fund is $113.8 million. IFC contingency restricted highway fund is $18.7 million. Extradition coordinator budget account 1002 is $136,000. This is information. Are there any questions on this?
Do we have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, 15B, please.
The second report is the statewide quarterly overtime report of fiscal year 2025, third quarter, pursuant to NRS 284.180. The Department of Administration, Division of Human Resource Management, must prepare and submit quarterly to the Budget Division of the Office of Finance a report regarding all overtime worked by employees of the Executive Department during that quarter. This report covers the period of January 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2025. This item is informational. Are there any questions on this item?
Do we have any questions?
No questions.
None here.
All right, we'll move on to 15C.
Okay, the last report is from the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Division of State Lands, fiscal year 2025, third quarter, pursuant to NRS 321.5954, subsection 4, the State Land Registrar is required to provide the Board of Examiners quarterly reports regarding lands or interests in lands transferred, sold, exchanged, or leased under the Tahoe Basin Act program. This report covers the period of January 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2025. This item is informational, and are there any questions on this item?
Do we have any questions?
No questions.
No, sir.
All right, before we move in to item 16, I just wanted to say publicly, Ms. Grenemeyer, thank you for all the hard work. Obviously, we're coming off the heels of legislative session. For you to be able to put all this together in a timely fashion needs to be commended for you and your people. So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to agenda item number 16, second opportunity for public comment. Do we have any public comment there in Las Vegas?
Somebody has to say something. No public comment, Governor.
Any public comment here in Carson? Has anybody called in? All right, we will close item 16 and move for adjournment. So moved. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Have a good day, everybody.